What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Duncan. You guys saw the title. The NBA world is salivating over this exciting new era of basketball, which features a lot of outstanding duos across the league. There's so much great content out there about these newly formed 1-2 punches, but I've noticed an absolute scarcity of content out there about big threes. Look, I know why. 2019's free agency left us without any highly marketable trios. There isn't a single team in the NBA right now who has 3 healthy All-Stars on their roster. I get it, man. Duos are the fresh, hot topic. But let's not fool ourselves. The NBA is not a 2v2 tournament, and it's highly likely the third wheel on a lot of these top teams will be playing some of the most important roles in their squads come next year's playoffs. This is very fascinating to take a look at these big threes and evaluate how they stack up against each other. I understand you all probably have your own opinions about how these trios should rank and even who you think should be in each team's big three, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. Please take a moment to drop a like, subscribe for more videos, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Without any more rambling, let's go ahead and start this thing off with the NBA's 30th best big three, the Charlotte Hornets. This team is absolutely terrible from top to bottom. They lost Jeremy Lamb and the best player in the history of their franchise, Kemba Walker, and they handed $58 million to a guy who averaged 9 points on 38% shooting last year. I guess their big three would be Rozier, Nick Batum, and Marvin Williams? At 29, I got the Washington Wizards, who lost an astounding 10 of their top 13 scorers from last season. You might be wondering who's left, especially because John Wall will miss the entire upcoming season and won't qualify for this list. The Wizards' big three is headlined by Brad Beal, but is rounded out by 9th overall pick Rui Hachimura and second-year big man Thomas Bryant. Gonna be a rough year, Wiz fans. Up next, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm surprised Kevin Love is still on the roster, as I definitely expect him to be traded to a contending team at some point this season. Young bull Colin Sexton finished the year much better than he began, but this team is not in position to win anytime soon. Darius Garland could be in this spot soon, but let's round this out with Tristan Thompson. 27, the New York Knicks. They swung hard and missed hard this offseason, but they did end up with Julius Randle. Add him to 2 19-year-old top 10 picks, and you've got yourself one of the worst teams in the league.
It's not funny!
Anyways, I do think Barrett, Knox, and Randle will all have great seasons. The Memphis Grizzlies are a fun young team, but will probably find themselves at the bottom of the Western Conference this season. Regardless, John Morant should have a huge year, and Jaren Jackson Jr. will take major strides. And I think we know what we're getting from Jonas Valanciunas at this point. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but this trio ranks among the league's bottom 5. At 25 are the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler is a fiery competitor and will certainly be an all-star in the East this year. As a Suns fan, Goran Dragic is one of my favorite players of all time, but injuries are getting to him and age is not in his favor. Rumor has it Miami is looking at Chris Paul or Brad Beal, and the Dragons' contract would probably be moved in either case. I'll take Justice Winslow over Bam Adebayo, though either could be moved here into the number 3 spot. 24. Nick Vucevic just signed an $100 million contract extension. Sounds like a lot, but where else is their money going to go? I feel bad for the small market teams like the Magic, always an uphill battle trying to land marquee free agents. Dunk extraordinaires Aaron Gordon and Terrence Ross round out their leading trio. The young Atlanta Hawks come in at number 23, but a quick little side note. All 5 teams from the Southeast Division have already been listed. That division is downright awful. Moving on, Trae Young and John Collins grew leaps and bounds together throughout last season, and number 4 pick DeAndre Hunter should complement them nicely this season. Next comes a trio that projects very similarly to the Hawks, the Chicago Bulls' young core of athletic freak and scoring machine Zach LaVine, smooth, versatile Finnish big man Lauri Markkanen, and then Otto Porter Jr. There are so many young and unproven teams in the East, and the bottom half of those East playoffs are wide open. Despite coming in at 22nd overall, the Bulls are the 8th ranked trio in the conference. And here are my Phoenix Suns at the 21st spot of our 2019-20 Big 3 rankings. I know they'll probably finish the year near the bottom of the West again, but Devin Booker is still an absolute phenom, and DeAndre Ayton should only improve in year 2 after putting up 16 and 10 as a rookie. With the departure of TJ Warren, Kelly Oubre is clearly our go-to wing and also plays great defense. Losing Westbrook and PG was never going to help the Oklahoma City Thunder in these rankings, but having CP3 and Danilo Gallinari as consolation is nothing to deprecate. Along with sturdy big Steven Adams, the Thunder still have a really talented and experienced group, with the trio coming in at 20. At 19, we have the Indiana Pacers. I'm so happy Victor Oladipo is returning this season and appears to be on pace for a full recovery after the brutal injury he suffered in January.
Should've known that this wasn't for real.
And his team is being slept on hard. So hard, I might even make a video as the season approaches detailing why I believe the Pacers could sneak into the Eastern Conference Finals this year. A huge reason being their offseason acquisitions, which include Malcolm Brogdon and TJ Warren. Their big three isn't star-studded, but watch out for Indiana. The 2019-20 Brooklyn Nets appear on this list at 18, but they'd obviously be much higher if arguably the best player in the league weren't recovering from an Achilles tear this year. They lost D'Angelo Russell, but they lured in Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan, making for a formidable big three along with sixth man Spencer Dinwiddie. It's kind of weird to say that the defending champs have a below-average core, but that's the impact one player can make, and the Toronto Raptors are all the way down here at 17 as a result of Kawhi Leonard's decision. After what we saw from him this postseason, I do expect Pascal Siakam to emerge as their frontman and be an all-star, and veterans Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka should each have another very solid season once again. The Detroit Pistons are here at 16. Not a lot changed for Detroit as they look to once again sneak into the postseason, led by a bruising frontcourt of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. But this summer, they added a lightning-quick point guard who rounds out an impressive big three, who goes by the name of Derrick Rose. The very talented Timberwolves have a big three that ranks among the league's top half, at number 15. Don't you think it's about time they start winning games with all that talent? Karl Anthony Towns is as gifted a big man as they come, and Andrew Wiggins and Robert Covington will hold it down on the wing. This team really should be so much better. 14 goes to the very promising big three of the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox showed so much potential this past year. Buddy Hield put up 20 a game and became one of the league's best three-point shooters. Marvin Bagley is a new age big man who is both an explosive athlete and a guy who can stretch the floor. These three young dudes are so fun to watch, and the only way for them to go is up. You guys might not agree with me on this one, but I think the New Orleans Pelicans and their big three deserve to be at number 13. Jrue Holiday is a top-notch scorer, defender, and leader who would be a perennial all-star in the other conference. Brandon Ingram just put up 18 points a game last season and should only improve with more opportunity this year. If Zion Williamson becomes who I think he'll be, this will easily be one of the league's best big threes. At number 12, I've got the San Antonio Spurs. The old Spurs are reliable as usual. DeMar DeRozan is great, LaMarcus Aldridge is great, Rudy Gay, still chugging. Good old Spurs. 11. The Boston Celtics. Cardiac Kemba replaces Kyrie Irving, and Jason Tatum is still only 21. I do think Gordon Hayward has a much better year, especially now that he will likely find himself more minutes with the departure of Al Horford. Let's begin the top 10 with the Dallas Mavericks, who I promise you will not be a good basketball team next season, but their European tandem of Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis will be electric. But beyond them, their roster is pretty ugly. Tim Hardaway Jr. is probably their third best player, but I'd love to still see his efficiency increase before I trust him as a third option on a playoff team. The ninth best big three in the NBA belongs to the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell is an absurdly good basketball player, and new arrival Mike Conley will complement him seamlessly. And let's not forget our lanky Frenchman and back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. At 8, we have the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic has helped turn the Nuggets into a very scary Western Conference contender, but he hasn't done it alone. In this year's playoff series against the Portland Trail Blazers, we saw what Jamal Murray could do against one of the best backcourts in the NBA. Gary Harris certainly has a case for the Nuggets' third spot, but I think Paul Millsap still has the edge for now. At 7, the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't need to convince you that Giannis Antetokounmpo is a freak of nature. I think his game and MVP trophy speak for themselves. Chris Middleton has become a really dependable second scoring option for the East top-seeded Bucks, and point guard Eric Bledsoe will continue to be a jack of all trades. The appropriately named Sixers come in at number 6. Joel Embiid is probably the league's best center, and Ben Simmons is an elite passer and athlete at 6 feet 10 inches, despite the whole world letting him know that he can't shoot. Tobias Harris just signed a massive 5-year, $180 million contract, so you know the Philadelphia 76ers aren't going anywhere anytime soon. 5 goes to the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard solidified himself as one of the best guards in the world this past year, as he and CJ McCollum led the Zers to the Western Conference Finals, despite losing nimble Bosnian Jusuf Nurkic to a grisly leg injury in March. But Nurk is coming back mid-season, and the Blazers' big three will be back with a vengeance. 4. The Houston Rockets. James Harden just averaged 36 points for an entire season. That's insane. Let's add fellow MVP and former teammate Russell Westbrook, and we're looking at the most talented backcourt in the NBA. Their adjustment to diminished usage will be an interesting storyline this year, but there is no doubt that they are among the league's best big threes, with Clint Capella running the floor and catching lobs. Even without Klay Thompson, I'd be silly to not have the Golden State Warriors big three this high in the rankings. But Duncan, Draymond is past his prime. He only averaged 7 points last year. Okay, little Warriors hater. He has been on the first or second all-defensive team for 5 straight years, and his 2019 playoffs were as impressive as ever. They also added D'Angelo Russell, and they still have this other dude named Stephen Curry. So, yeah. Number 2 goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron and AD are probably the best duo in the league, but I think the team I have at number 1 has a better and more accomplished third wheel. Kyle Kuzma is a great young player, but I haven't seen him play in a playoff game yet. By next year, this trio could easily be top ranked in the NBA, especially if they win a championship this year. The best big three in the NBA has got to belong to the Los Angeles Clippers. Hometown kids Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are among the league's best players. Lou Williams is a scoring machine, the ultimate sixth man, and the guy that puts the Clippers atop this ranking. LA basketball is back, man, and it's better than ever. Let's hope we get to see the league's top big threes meet up in late May. 7 games played in the bright lights of the Staples Center in downtown LA. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for being a loyal fan and supporting my content. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below about the video. Whether you disagreed with everything I said or you think my list was perfect, let me know. If you have a particular topic you want me to cover in the future, I'd be happy to do so. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell if you want to keep supporting, and I'll see you guys again next week.